Manson wants your children. No, not that one. We mean the shock rock star Marilyn Manson. He seems to want your children to buy his new album that hit the stores this week, and he seems to want them to look at themselves, at their parents, and even their religion in a different way. Considering that his last record sold double platinum, you can assume that his young fans will be listening. Newsstand's David Mattingly reports now on Manson and the family, starting with the video to his new single, The Dope Show.
We're all stars now in the dope show. We're all stars now in the dope show.
With the new CD, Mechanical Animals, welcome to the new look and new sound of the always controversial Marilyn Manson.
I expect problems, always with whatever I do, but that's part of being a provocative artist, which is something I'll always be.
He named himself for a tragic screen legend and an infamous spree killer. He calls himself a performance artist, playing the role of rock star. His first brush with notoriety came in 1994 when he was charged with indecent exposure on a concert stage. Although cleared of that charge, Marilyn Manson has since emerged as an incendiary rabble-rouser.
Manson attempts to push buttons, so he'll do whatever he has to do to provoke.
I'm telling people what I see, and some people are scared of that because they don't like the way I see it.
Manson's last CD, Antichrist Superstar, was a critical and commercial breakthrough.
And I don't want you, and I don't need you.
But that release and his Dead to the World concert tour ignited a firestorm of outrage.
We will no longer be oppressed by the fascism of Christianity.
He's Satan. He worships Satan. How can you go to one of his concerts?
Some communities banned Manson, mortified by what they viewed as his blasphemy and obscenity.
We don't want to believe in a God that doesn't believe in us.
I kind of represented myself as a destroyer on Antichrist Superstar because I couldn't fit into a world that hated me, and so I wanted to see it destroyed.
A new androgyny of Marilyn Manson, kind of moving away from the goth look to something a little bit different.
Bob Smithhauser is an outspoken critic of Manson and co-author of Chart Watch, published by Focus on the Family, a Christian ministry based in Colorado Springs.
Marilyn Manson's message is loaded with lyrics that promote hate, bitterness, rage. He is a Pied Piper driving a wedge between parents and teens.
But Manson's fervent young fans worship him as the last honest rock star, an icon of wild style and free expression.
He signifies freedom. He signifies that we're allowed. He's showing the world that it's okay to be yourself, right, even if some people don't agree to it. And that's what makes us like him so much. Like we could be different. We could have fangs. We could dye our hair.
He's a philosopher and he's brilliant.
From the song The Moment of Decay, I'm on my way down, I'd like to take you with me. It's not exactly Socrates.
The way the world reacted to Antichrist Superstar was just as much a part of my creation as the music itself. When I sit back at it and look at it a year later, the whole thing is my creation, not just the music, but the reaction, what the world made me into. It's all part of what I intended.
The big question is how seriously does he take it? How much does he believe it? And how much of it is simply a pose?
Manson offered some sardonic answers to that question in his best-selling autobiography, The Long Hard Road Out of Hell. It chronicles the reinvention of Brian Warner, from an alienated product of Christian schooling in Canton, Ohio, to a cult hero, one of last week's headliners at the MTV Music Awards. Manson, a former music writer for a Florida magazine, is very savvy about projecting his image and rarely goes out in public without makeup. But when we sat down with him, we discovered that beneath this image, there's a 29-year-old rebel who's still evolving emotionally.
Are we going to listen to a kinder, gentler Marilyn Manson?
I don't think so. I just think there's a greater balance to become this strong Superman that I set out to be. I didn't realize that I had to have weaknesses as well. So I balanced myself out more. I'm more extreme now than ever.
In what way?
Ways. I feel more. I feel other people's pain. I feel other people's joy, and it affected me as an artist. I've learned to have empathy now, which is something I didn't have before.
Like Antichrist Superstar, Mechanical Animals has a parental warning sticker and won't be sold by the Walmart and Kmart retail chains. The Target chain does carry stickered CDs, but has banned Manson's because of so-called nudity on the cover. Even the New York Times chose to edit a Manson ad. And while his tour promoters say they are booking Manson into most major markets, venues in some towns still want no part of him.
Is this a form of censorship?
It's a give and take, you know. If I have the right to say what I want to say, they have the right to not have it. But I'm going to do my best to go to every city, because I think at the same time people have the right, if they want to see the show. I just have to find the place to do it.
Through it all, Manson has become a larger-than-life star and a figure in the ongoing national debate over artistic expression and moral values. But according to music business insiders, the real debate is over just how big Manson's new CD will be.
Antichrist Superstar sold 2 million copies. Mechanical Animals will have to do better than that to meet expectations. Manson's fans at this in-store record signing seem confident he'll only get bigger.
I think more and more people are going to get his real message and not be scared away by what everybody has to say, you know, that don't really know what he's about and what he means.
But Marilyn Manson knows he will always have enemies.
The people that want so badly for you to go away, are you in some way afraid of them?
I'm afraid of what they represent. That's the sad thing that I learned most about religion over the past year, is that God exists more in art and in music and creativity than it could in any religion, because there's too much anger and fear and hatred there.
And what about Manson's new release, Mechanical Animals? Is it a monstrous success or a letdown for his hardcore fans? Well, Entertainment Weekly's music critic David Brown has a review.
Marilyn Manson's new album, Mechanical Animals, is supposed to be really scary and shocking. Ooh, right from the cover, where he looks like this androgynous alien, and right down to song titles like, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. In fact, there is something really deeply shocking about the album. It's actually pretty good. Manson's one of those people who's really essential for society. It's really important to have somebody who shakes up the conservative organizations and is a hero of 12-year-olds. But the one thing he's never been really essential for is his music. His previous records, like Antichrist Superstar, were basically dated industrial rock sludge. This time around, Manson and his band have opted for things like catchy songs, hooks, choruses, dynamics, things we've never associated with them before. Manson himself sounds like old glam rock legends like David Bowie and Mark Bolan's T-Rex. Add it all up and what you've got is a lurid cabaret act for the post-apocalyptic era. It's still hard to take Marilyn Manson all that seriously. There's something vaguely ridiculous and manufactured about him. But with Mechanical Animals, he's finally lived up to his sonic promise. Let's just call him Malice Cooper. At a moment when Marilyn Manson finally had to either put up or shut up, he's done the former, so I'll give it an A-.
Catchy tunes on a CD and a very high grade for Mr. Brown. Okay, now catch your breath. We'll be right back.